All right, so I'm going to go through a little bit more circle and ellipse practice with you, and then I'll tell you the remainder of the problems that you need to try on your own. So the ones that I've circled on this front page, I'm going to complete in this video. And then the back page, you're going to complete all 4 of these questions on your own. And then this next page, you are going to complete 1 through 7. But I'm going to do at least 6A with you. So the only thing you don't need to complete is this back page. 8, you don't have to do. 9, you don't have to do. 10, you don't have to do. Or 8 and 9. All right, so here we go. We're going to tackle some of this together just to help you practice, and then you're going to try it on your own. So the first thing is, let's remember how to write the equation of a circle. So this says, write the equation of the ellipse circle described. This has a center at -4, 2. It has a vertical major axis, so that's telling me this is an ellipse. The length of the major axis is 8, and the minor axis has a length of 2. So I know how to write the center part. So let's write it as x plus 4 squared, because we're going left 4, plus y minus 2 squared equals 1. So this goes up 2. I need to figure out my a and my b value, or my a squared and b squared value. The vertical major axis tells me that a, or a squared, is going to go under the y. So if the total length of the major axis is 8, that means from vertex to vertex. So my a value is 4, and 4 squared is 16. And then if the minor axis, the total length is 2, that tells me that the b value is just 1, and 1 squared is 1. So there's my equation for number 1. So you are going to try 2 and 3 when we come back at the end, or pause it now and try it. I'm going to do example 4 to review what this word tangent means. So if it has a center at -5, or sorry, +5, -4, my bad. +5, -4. That puts the center of the ellipse there, and tangent just means it touches those points on the axes. So basically, it shows me that the a value is going to be 5 and the b value is going to be 4, and it shows me that it's oriented horizontally. So x minus 5 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 1. And if 5 is a, then a squared is 25. If 4 is b, then 4 squared is 16. And I wanted to make it a horizontal ellipse, so that's why I put the 25 right there. So don't forget to go back and try 2 and 3. And I'm also going to have you go back and do number 5. And I'm going to skip over here and do 6 and 7. So let's put this into graphing form. So your first step is to get your x stuff together, your y stuff together, and to move your c value to the other side. So I have x squared plus y squared minus 12y equals -25, and I'm going to add a number right here to complete the square. So inside this, I'm going to cut the b value in half to get -6, and then square it to get 36. So I'm adding 36 to both sides of the equation. So I have x squared plus, this is really y minus 6 times y minus 6. So y minus 6 squared, and then 36 minus 25 is going to be 11. So the center is going to be at 0, +6. 6. And this is a circle, and the radius is the square root of 11, which is 3.3 about. So I'm going to go 3.3 and kind of flesh out my circle. So there's my circle with radius 3.3. Example 7, group together my x's, so x squared minus 4x, y squared minus 8y, and then move the 1 to the other side. So it looks like before I complete the square, I could actually divide every single number through by 2, and then I'm actually taking care of both of the 2's in front of my x and y. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to divide this whole problem by 2 before I start. X squared minus 2x, y squared minus 4y equals 1/2. So now I'm going to complete the square. Cut this number in half and I'd get -1. Square it, I would get +1. Cut this number in half, I'd get -2. Square it, I would get +4. So this trinomial factors into x minus 1 squared, or x minus 1 times x minus 1, y minus 2 squared, and then this looks like 5.5. So this again is a circle. It has a center at +1, +2, and its radius is whatever the square root of 5.5 is, about 2.3. So I go to 1, 2 and go about 2.3 in each direction. All right, so don't forget to go back and do number 5. So I'm actually going to leave you this back page. I might actually do example 4 with you. So you're going to write this one in conics form. Actually, I think I'm going to do 1 with you, but I'm going to leave you number 4 to try. Because number 1 is another completing the square problem that we haven't done yet today. So 2x squared plus 4x, 9y squared minus 18y equals 7. Because this time I can't just go dividing through by 2. So the other strategy is to factor out the 2, but just from the x terms, factor out the 9, but just from the y terms. So that allows me to complete the square inside the parenthesis by adding 1, because cut 2 in half and then 1 squared is 1, but I really distribute this and I really got 2 times 1. I need to add 2 to the other side of the equation. Over here, cut the -2 in half, so -1, square it, add 1, 9 times 1 is 9. So I have 2 times x plus 1 squared plus 9 times y minus 1 squared equals, this looks like 18. 7 plus 2 plus 9 is 18. So if this is an ellipse, your last step needs to be dividing through by 18, because an ellipse needs to have 1 on that side. So my final answer would be x plus 1 squared over 9, because 2/18 is 9, plus y minus 1 squared over 2 equals 1 is my final answer for that ellipse. All right, so you should be able to graph 2 and 3. They're already in conic standard form. I want you to try number 4, even if you have to sketch it out. You're going to have to find the center, find A and B, put it in an equation. You can do that. And then on this next page, I only want you to complete through number 7. So let's see, here's a completing the square one. You can do that. Describe what has happened. So where is the center? Where is the radius? Define the domain and range. I think you can do that one. You're going to have to find the conics form of this and then translate it to get your new equation. So you can do that. Let's do number 4 together, because this one could be a little bit tricky. Find the value of k that will make this equation have a radius of 4. So we're going to pretend it didn't ask us to do that. We're just going to start by doing our completing the square stuff. So I'm going to still move that k to the other side. I'm going to try to complete the square here. So I'd have to add 1, and I'd have to add 4. So on this side, I'd have x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals, right now I have 5 minus k. We want to have a radius of 4, so we want 5 minus k to equal 16. So we'd have to subtract 5 and divide through by -1. So it looks like k would have to be -11 to make this true. So if k was -11, our first step would have been to add 11 to the other side. So then I would have 11 plus 5 would give me 16. So K has to be negative 11. All right, and then on the back page, I'd like you to graph 5. I'd like you to write the equations for 7. Number 6, let's do one of those together to talk about eccentricity. Let's pick 6b and you can do 6a. All right, so let's see. We have to solve for our equation. 9x squared minus 9x, 25y squared minus 50y equals 19775. This must be a pretty big equation. So my first step, I'm going to divide out a 9. Oh, this is not going to come out very nice. And then 25y squared minus 2y equals 1975. All right, I have to cut this number in half and square it. So when I cut this number in half, I get negative a half, and then times negative a half would be positive 1/4. And 9 times 1/4 is 2.25. So I need to add 2.25 to the other side of the equation. Here I want to add 1 because negative 1 squared is 1. So I really need to add 25 to the other side of the equation. So I have 9x minus 1/2 squared plus 25y minus 1 squared equals, so I have to add 19,775 plus 2.25 plus 25 is 19,802.25. I don't know why this one is coming out so horribly. Let's divide through by 19,802.25. 19,802.25. That's going to be 1. All right, so I'm still going here. I want to actually get a value down here. So I'm going to take 19,802.25 and divide by 9. So my I don't know which one's going to be a squared yet. This is 2200.25 x minus 1/2 squared plus y minus 1 squared over. So I'm going to take 19,802.25 and divide by 25. 792.09. All right, we need to get a squared. So this is a squared, this is b squared, and we're going to use that to find c squared. Hopefully number 6 does not have decimals, but if not, I'm sorry, do your best. So let's see, a squared, I'm running out of room here, I'm going back over here. A squared equals b squared plus c squared. I'm trying to get c divided by a. A squared is 2200.25. B squared is 792.09 plus C squared. I'm going to subtract this number to the other side and then take its square root. 2200.25 minus that number, take the square root. So C is 37.5 and A is the square root of 2200.25. 46.91. So what's 37.5 divided by 46.91? Eccentricity of 0.8. Ta-da! That was a painful one, guys. I hope number 6A treats you better. And then I'd like you to finish number 7. So you've got to finish that first page, everything, and then this page just up through number 7. You don't have to do 8, 9, or 10. We'll be checking over our work, and I'm going to be checking it off that it's complete on Monday. Thank you. Actually, I'm not going to see you on Monday, and you're going to post this to the assignment in Google Classroom. Thanks.